I'm Tonya Curry, and this is this week's Acumen Media Report. It's entitled From Russia with Love and Enoch jokes. I'm back from a news hiatus and straight back into the thick of it. The biggest headline while I was away was the death of Minister Lucky Star, the wonderful Tito Mboweni. This man kept our country on the straight and narrow for so long. He counted our rands and cents, and when he realized that he couldn't get ahead of the greed, he left. Ramatress begged him to return in the new dawn years. Yes, those brief flashing moments of light. Remember them? Oh, we had such hope. Tito did a magnificent job, except nothing changed from his last tango with the ANC, so he left the dance floor again. He returned to his farm, rolled a J, and opened a can of fish and danced to Jerusalem with his grandkids. I adored this man, and we are a poorer country without him. Rest in peace, Tito Mboweni, Shasha. Tomorrow is Children's Day. Look around you, all I see are headlines drenched in the blood of our kids. My first question is, what is the root of this food poisoning, this uncontrollable virus that is attacking South Africa? Mozzoledi will have you believe it's due to a highly toxic pesticide that seems to have crept into stale chocolates and chips. He said spaza shops are to blame. I don't buy it, not even for a minute. Come on, man, this pandemic is across the country. It's not in one city, one region, not even in one province. How is it possible? At least 6 children have died this week. If you want my opinion, I believe this is a staple food that carries this deadly toxin. It's something that's produced by a food manufacturer here in South Africa, and they're hiding behind the entrepreneurs that struggle to keep our nation fed. They want you to believe it's the spaza shops, that they are the culprits, but I don't believe it because something is off. No sooner am I back than I read how 5 boys, all minors, raped a 14-year-old girl. Another kid raped 5 matrics, and a 5-year-old boy was shot dead. I read how a soccer star got into a car drunk and killed a kid. I read that a despicable man called Skuman bought a child aged 13 and used her as a sex slave for years. These cases are so frequent that we forget these headlines, but how can we not? Do you remember Jerabajeen van Wyk? Probably not. This child was killed by a 58-year-old farmer for stealing fruit. It turns out that the fruit wasn't the reason for killing the child. Daniel Smith was found guilty of killing the 13-year-old and dumping the remains in sewage pipes. It is believed that Smith was part of the Chinese occult, whatever that is. At least he's going to prison. We all know what happens to child killers in prison. And then there's this story that I can't get my head around. I've been following it all week, and I'm still not clear on the exact details. Kayone, a 20-month-old little boy.
When I say that I'm raising probably the most smartest 1-year-old, guys, I'm so proud. As a mom, I've done my job. It's a job well done from me, and I'm
was left in the care of his father, and we are told that the little one fell in the pool and drowned. This while there were 2 helpers in the house. You're going to agree that that is odd, right? Well, get this. Within 2 days, the child was buried. His mother hadn't even returned from her trip to attend to a family issue. He buried that child without a single member of the mother's family in attendance. Have you ever heard of such a thing? The mom is fighting in every corner. She got approval for the body to be exhumed. She believes her child may not even be dead. If you ask what social media believes, the child was sold or the father killed the child. The updates are being shared on Instagram as Letsoho fights to find out what happened to her baby. Children's Day will not fix that. Neither will our government. It's down to us. If we're not helping our children, what is our purpose really? The biggest story of the week is none of the above. We're used to seeing gory headlines about our littlies. The biggest story is about Russia. Ramaphosa attended the BRICS summit outreach, and he could literally reach out and touch Putin. He loves Putin, our Ramatress. He said that Russia was a great ally of South Africa.
Continue to see Russia as a valued ally as a valued friend who supported us right from the beginning, from the days of our struggle against apartheid, right through to now. So we're really delighted to be here and to know that we are going to have important discussions here in Kazan within the BRICS family.
I mean, what was he going to say? The DA went mad. But seriously, what did you want him to say, guys? He's sitting in a room with the scariest man on the planet who basically owns us, and you want him to say what exactly? What would you say? Knock, knock, it's a despot. Zuma is also appealing his expulsion from the ANC. Please don't ask me. This place is weird. All is not well in the MK camp as leaked recordings capture Zuma chastising his crew about fighting for jobs. Gigaba, Gigabyte, the Candy Crusher, is back in Parliament even though he's implicated in the Zondo Commission. Knock, knock, it might be the cops. Mashatile had a lackluster Q&A. Panyaza seems to be a headline hogger, doesn't he? He had a scuffle with the media, in particular News 24, which he called fake news. That's funny. Who is this guy?
As we reach these 100 days, many thought we will not reach. We've reached it. As we reach these 100 days in office, we are more eager to build on the foundation we've started. The colleagues will tell you, we work as if we are one team. No differences as compared to national government of national unity, where sometimes people speak differently. We remain committed to improving the lives of our residents in our province.
And then there's his sparring partner, Fikile Ramatress and Balula, who also had a pop at his comrades about succession talks. Restless, hey? The GNU is making us all a bit fidgety, eh? Trying to avoid the hard knock life, eh? Then there's the midterm budget policy statement, MTBPS, mouthful. Enoch Godongwane should get into the Guinness Book of Records for the fastest budget speech in history. It lasted 45 minutes. I play these things on double speed, so 20 odd minutes later I was done. He didn't say anything. His speech was firstly inaudible, no, not because of the speed I played it on, but because he's not very eloquent.
The Adjustment Appropriation Bill, Rates and Monetary Amendment Bill, Global Minimum Tax Bill, Global Minimum Tax Administration Bill. They almost have a page, all of them. Madam Speaker, today I start on a sad note.
And you couple that with a lack of substance and, well, it could have been an email. And instead you lost an hour or 20 minutes, depending on how you watched it. Enoch said that early retirement is the silver bullet. And then he told us that we are 6 trillion rand in debt, and that is 75% of our GDP. Servicing our debts is costing us 388 billion rand. For every rand we have in our country, 22 cents belongs to a set of loan sharks. South Africa's payday loans. That bit isn't even funny, even if he did sound like a chipmunk on my screen. When the journalist questioned Enoch about the brevity of the statement and what his stance was on the schools without budgets for teachers and the state of healthcare finances, he responded, not today, maybe later, or something like that.
There are two things. The early retirement, it's outside the current negotiations. It's an issue we are going to table separate. We've agreed with unions that we must table separate. It must not be part of the negotiations. If the municipalities are failing, therefore people revolt against government because of that failure. They think that it's government that's not performing, whereas the municipality they face. We think that there must be a concerted effort.
He gave us the knock, mate. Knock, knock. Who's there? Nonna. Nonna who? Nonna your business.
Nanya.
Nanya?
Nanya business.
Then there was the weather. We had hail in Setswana. Golf balls, the size of golf balls. I think that might be a first for us. And I got caught in it. Obviously, I'm so dramatic. But the car and the dog are safe. I'm the lucky one, as many people died in Mpumalanga due to another massive hailstorm. This weather is crazy. At least I have a dune protecting me from the sea, or I'd have to reassess my life choices. Anyway, I digress. Checkers has been on a shopping spree, haven't they? Buying the liquor stores from Pick and Pay and Spar. That's interesting, isn't it? And then those Checkers minis, guys. What on earth is going on? The mothers in our burbs are chasing a pink miniature shopping trolley and will pay up to $2,000 for it. Mind yourselves, you might get knocked over in the rush on Black Friday that's looming. Pink miniature shopping trolley. I kid you not. In this pile of news on my desk, I learned that Rachel Kutumela became the new Rosemary Ndlovu. She's a cop and she killed off many of her family for insurance fraud. She was in court this week applying for bail, where we heard how she assigned herself to her own crime scenes. Seems like she watched the Rosemary docu and took notes. Knock, knock, it's the police. No, it's not. What is happening? It was the 10th anniversary of Senzo trial, 10 whole years, and we're still checking cell phone records. There were interviews with Senzo's mother, and that poor woman will probably never find out what happened to her son. That's it. That's South Africa wrapped up. Well, apart from the unpaid grants and the nation's poorest of the poor being left without respite during November, that and the fact that despite the calls for boycott, Chris Brown is still coming to South Africa. I hope that stadium is empty. I can dream, can't I? Knock on wood. Across the continent, South Africa put forward a 4,000-page document to the ICJ against the genocide in Palestine. Botswana decides as the votes are closed and the counting begins, a stark contrast to what Mozambique is going through during their election time. Sudan is just mind-boggling. How can we watch two genocides on our screen and no one does anything? Is this the world we created? It's very chaotic in international media. Spain is struggling to recover after massive flooding. Trump is steaming ahead. Can you believe that? I don't want to, but it looks like it. At one of his rallies, a comedian made a bad joke about Puerto Rico. He basically called it an island of floating rubbish.
A lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
And that set the media wheels in motion. And the next thing, Biden, in a terrible interview, was calling Trump's supporters rubbish.
Just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of seen as unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's totally contrary to everything we've done, everything we've been.
Wait, I'm not done, because Trumpy Wumpy then got into a garbage truck and drove around town. He's worked this election, eh? From McDonald's to dump trucks, and Americans are lapping it up. The election is live as we speak, and this is going to gauge the temperature of our planet for a while. No wonder it's Halloween. Good people, don't knock our country. We have big mountains to climb and great rivers to cross. Muster your strength, South Africa. We are hurtling to the end of the year. Happy new month. It's the last true working month of the year. And I'm Tanya Curry. Thank you for scratching the surface with me and Acumen Media.